What's up YouTube, Capital G here, talking about legacy support in this video and asking the question, how do you guys think that Konami should approach legacy support when they're developing more? Do you guys think that they should make it as competitive as possible, just making the deck as good as it can possibly be as far as like a competitive standpoint? Or do you think legacy support is perfectly fine if they keep the spirit of the archetype? If they say, you know, this archetype was designed to do X and we're going to make sure that it still is going to do X, or, you know, we're going to make sure that this card still allows the deck to do what it was originally planned on doing, just maybe a little bit better. Because I feel like this card, Yosenju's Divine Mountain Winds, it's kind of like a divisive card. I looked at it, I reviewed it, I said I didn't really like it because I feel like to maximize it, you pretty much have to run the scales and Diaback, and most of the competitive versions don't run that. But then a lot of people were saying, hey Cap, originally Yosenju's were designed to be a pendulum deck and Diaback was their boss monster, and this allows you to basically summon Diaback. You can possibly, you know, put your scales back in your hand, the pendulum summon cannot be negated, and then you can pretty much infinitely summon Diaback every single turn. I'm like, oh, okay, that's a pretty decent that's actually a pretty decent play. And this whole argument really kind of spawns from the fact that when Konami releases archetypes, occasionally when it comes to the competitive game, we'll just play an archetype a lot different than what they intended on, what they originally designed. Yosenju's and Destiny Heroes are two prime examples of this. You guys know that Yosenju's were originally designed to be like a pendulum deck. If you don't know why Yosenju's have pendulums, let me just take one quick second. It's because of the anime. There's this guy named Sawatari. He's the guy that plays Yosenju on the anime. He ended up stealing Yuya, the main character's pendulums. Then Yuya got him back, and then he ended up playing against Yuya at an event. And basically, he had one of the guys, Reggie, the DDD guy. He ended up making him pendulums so that he could play against pendulums with pendulums. And you know, hence that's why the Yosenju archetype actually has pendulums. It's because of the anime and whatnot. But anyways, so most players competitively don't play Yosenju this way, and I just kind of assumed that everybody thought like me, like I just want whatever is best. I just want whatever makes the deck more competitive, whatever makes it as good as possible. But no, there are actually a lot of people that are perfectly fine with a deck just being fun and casual, like, and they're just like, hey, I kind of like the way that the deck is designed, and if Konami is going to give me more cards that allow me to play that a little bit better, even if it isn't, you know, highly like tier 1 or anything like that, I'm perfectly fine with that. And I just didn't know that. That's something that I just learned with the new video. Destiny Heroes is another example of this. I mean, you can go all the way back to like the GX era guys, or, you know, especially in the 5Ds days, where Destiny Heroes were originally like, I guess they were kind of a fusion deck. I mean, they had things like Destiny and Dragon, but no one ever ran Destiny and Dragon. No one ever ran any cards that would let you fuse in Destiny Heroes for the most part. And especially when the synchro mechanic was announced, everybody just ran Destiny Heroes as a synchro deck because they were just like, you know, malicious plus synchros is just too broken. This card is almost designed for synchros. Even if you look at Destiny Heroes now and the new support from Destiny Soldiers, Konami is basically, they are just begging us to play Destiny Heroes as a fusion deck. Destiny Heroes have two new fusions coming out, fusion monsters. They have a new fusion trap. They have a whole bunch of supports. Even in the anime, the main character, well, the guy who runs Destiny Heroes, Edo, you know, he fuses a lot, but people just still don't run Destiny Heroes as a fusion deck. Most people still run it as a synchro deck, you know, basically making like level 8 synchros. Well, actually a lot of the new versions, especially with the new Vion card that can dump malicious straight into the graveyard. I was watching a Lithium video and it's actually pretty crazy. You can drop like Crystal Wing through Ultimaya. A lot of times you can make Draco a quest, which I guess is your fusion card, definitely not a Destiny Hero fusion. And then you can, you know, like copy Ultimaya's effect and you can end up summoning like a Void Ogre in the same turn. It's actually really nutty, but it goes to show that a lot of Destiny Hero players are pretty much just kind of ignoring the new Destiny Hero fusions, and they're just playing Destiny Heroes their way. And I guess the way that I kind of think of it, as I like for Konami to kind of prioritize making a deck competitive. I really like when decks aren't relevant for a long time and then Konami releases a couple of cards and instantly makes them like, you know, very competitive again. Mermail is a prime example of this. Mermail was like super good during Zexal, and then it kind of fell off, and then bam, they give the deck Nephthybis and it instantly instantly becomes like a tier 1 deck again. But with that said, I do kind of appreciate where people are coming from, where they're like, hey, you can't just ignore the roots of the deck. Even if you look at Six Samurai, how they kind of took the deck and they modernized it with Storm of Ragnarok and they gave it synchros, it still felt like, even though the deck was highly competitive, even if it wasn't, it still felt like Six Samurai had the same, like it was still true to the nature of Six Samurai, because the deck still felt like it spammed the board really, really hard. And it was a deck that was just about putting a bunch of monsters on the field. You know, it was still using the like counters and whatnot, because you had Six Samurai United and Sheen's Dojo. So even the new cards felt like they still had a lot of synergy with the old cards. So where do you guys come off on this topic? Do you guys think when Konami makes new support for older archetypes, or legacy support as we like to call it, do you guys think that they should completely just make it as competitive as possible? Or are you guys okay with them making it not as competitive as long as it stays true to the nature of the archetype? And actually, maybe there is a third option. Maybe if they're going to release multiple cards as legacy support, maybe they can do a little bit from column A, a little bit from column B, because it is unreasonable to expect every card to be competitive. No one is that silly where they expect every card to be amazing. Every archetype has a couple of cards where you're just like, what were they thinking? Or, okay, that's just supposed to be like a fun card. Maybe that's where that can be that happy medium, where they're releasing a bunch of cards to help older archetypes, like let's just say Volcanics, and a couple of them are just like, you know, burn cards like Volcanics have been known for in the past, and then a couple of them are just like amazing support that can instantly make the deck like be able to compete with like the top tier decks of the format right now. So you guys let me know in the comment section below. Thank you guys for watching as always, and if you have not subscribed, do that already.